Okay, so hello everyone here. We have a very fairly interesting hand here to talk about. I've set everything in PIO, but I haven't really looked at the results yet, so we'll look at it at the same time. And I'll try to interpret it. What happened is basically, let's go through replayer first. It's playing a pot against rounder 3989. Regular playing 6, ranging from 100 zoom to 500 zoom, so you can assume that he's like pretty good, good game theory, solid, um, yeah, so generally just a good player, and we chose a very interesting line with our hand Jackson suited here. I think the pre-flop call is really standard, and not too much to come about on his 3-bet sizing as well. It's kind of fair. Based on our stats, he's like 3-betting at early position, 2% overall, but in fact it's actually up to 5, because like I know him personally, and we've been doing study sessions, and we talked about pre-flop ranges quite early, which was like yesterday actually. And like it's like more up to 5, and his overall 3-bet should be more up to like 8 or 9. So call here, and that's like 55% pot approximately. I think this is fine. Like on this board, I don't really expect myself to be ever check raising a good player here, because like you could still have all the queens. We have like tens, but like nothing too in particular like interesting, because he's still gonna have aces and kings, and we're still gonna have a lot of hands like Jack 10, Queen Jack, King Jack, something like that. So in general, we have a lot of hands that I want to check call, and a very few hands that I want to check raise. So in general, we shouldn't really have a check raising range here. And like if we think about bluffs, it's gonna be like hands that could actually check call and aren't really forced to check raise here, like gut shots or like 1-overs. Yeah. So I just call here. Turn, it brings backdoor flush draw, so I don't really have any options. Like here, when he bets, I have like guaranteed enough equity to continue, because even if my hand is just a purely drawing hand, I still have like 25 outs. No, not 25, like 12 to 13 outs. If not more to the nuts. So like live outs, I mean. So like given the pot odds, I'm always profitable check calling, disregardless of the implied odds. That being said, if we want to have a check raising range here, we could still have worse hands to pick from. Like occasionally 8-9 diamonds, King Jack of diamonds, Ace Jack of diamonds, etc. But I still think that all these hands play better as a check call. I'm not sure if we have to call 8-9 on the flop. We could look at that later. Probably it's pretty close, but I think it's a no. And then here we go. So we check call again. And on a river, king comes, and like I just, based on my intuition, I pulled out a play which was fairly interesting. I decided to go for a donk jam here. Reasons being, I feel like villain is very prone to overfolding this river if we pull this line. We rep a decent amount of hands, simply based on the fact that I'll be slow playing. I don't really have a 4-betting range against him here. This is the first thing, so I'm gonna still have all my kings, all my queens. The second thing being, I don't really think in his range he has that many kings. I think like it's quite common to fold aces here, which I think is a very big part of his range. And he's not gonna have ace jack. I'm gonna have ace jack. Just based on the range, I just think that this kind of hand. I'm not really sure about kings, but even if he still has kings, it's just 3 more combos, and like all the aces, which is 6 combos, are gonna fold. And what else could he have? Like ace probably could find a fold here. And yeah, I just think that he's gonna overfold, given that people don't really use this line as a bluff all that often. And he's gonna and it makes sense to value shove here, because he's gonna have he's gonna think that Now, I'm gonna think that he's gonna check back this card a lot because aces is gonna check behind, ace king is probably gonna check behind. So the only hands that are gonna go for values like kings and queens, which is like maybe 30% of his range. So it's really makes sense that if I get there on the river with whatever draw that I have, it's gonna be a shove here. So after I made a mistake, so gonna have to pause the video and then go back in. So wait, how do I do that? Okay, never mind. I don't know how to do that. So maybe I'll just fix ranges. Yeah. That being said, like before I would really have a 4-betting range from UTG, but after talking to a few regs, I think that you shouldn't be having a 4-betting range. So here I think I should make an adjustment by doing this. Yep. So this is tree again. Yeah, overlap it. So what it means is here, I'm gonna have this kind of a range, which is like gonna be defending enough for sure. Yep, like this, I guess. I guess these could be 4 bets or these. It doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, I think something like this. I guess this is fine. This is gonna be my calling range, I think. People nowadays don't really have a 4-betting range, I guess. I could have a 4-betting range where I choose like A, King, and like Ace 5 or Ace 4 suited balance, but I mean like 0.85 is enough of a like generalization of how I'm gonna play. Sometimes I do 4-bet like just because I think that I should just get it in and get like play exploitatively. But in general, like what I've learned from like Andre and Regs is that people usually don't have a 4-betting range from UTG, and that being said, it's because we want to like have enough defend numbers, I guess. Or it's just like the ranges are too narrow that you don't want to 4-bet based on range protection, but you're going to be calling like these hands and these hands. So I'm going to fix it here. And based on like my conversations with him, I think this is a good simulation of his 4-betting range. I think it definitely goes like wider than this, but I think at this point, let's use this one. It's like overall 4%, which is reasonable as well. A good mix of bluffs, some like really low percent of merged hands, sometimes more often, less often than not, Jack Jack, and then this is a bluff. Obviously, these are bluffs as well. These are like board card range. So and then we build tree, okay, and then we go and we just try to like run the simulation. It's gonna take a while. Yeah. As far as bet sizings are concerned, I just gave him one size. I don't think he's gonna split ranges on these boards. So just based on what he bet, which is like here it's around 2/3 pot, so I gave him 65. Here it's like 55, around like more a little bit more than half pot. And in river, I think river, yeah, maybe. Oh, never mind. Maybe river I should give him like a bigger sizing here as well. Take like 75% or all in. And then he's gonna have a raise size if I donk or whatever. And then, sorry, I'm gonna have to build the tree again. But based on my ranges, my best size would be on the turn. Usually it's gonna be 65 or a check. And then I might have a check raising range here, so I'm not sure if that's good. Sometimes I do it. I mean, exploitatively, but I'm not sure. I think it's probably bad in GTO perspective on this board, but whatever, I'm just gonna add it in because I do have a strategy of like check raising on the turn for sure on many boards. Other boards are runouts. And then here, river out of position, I added the donk sizing here, which I'm gonna see if it's gonna come into handy. This is what I did in game. I'm gonna see if PIO actually suggests it. And then normal bet sizes here, I think 75 is gonna be better. Doesn't really matter a whole ton. Actually, I'm just gonna stick with 65. That doesn't really matter a whole ton. I don't think it does. It just affects his defend mass, but we're gonna still have like an insight of what kind of range we're gonna be approximately betting. So let's go in your browser. We're gonna check our range here for sure, and then he's gonna be betting almost all his range, which makes sense. I think this is what I predict as well. The EV is gonna be really high here, because generally speaking, 3-better just has a range advantage here. In position, a guy has like, yeah, he's gonna scoop up like 2/3 of the pot every time he bets here, so it's like really good. His no equity bluffs are gonna be good based on that, because when he bets, I'm gonna have to fold like a lot. This is no, actually no. When he bets, I'm still gonna continue, but because this board kind of like connects with my range too, but he still is gonna have the range advantage, and I think that like a PO suggestions just like abusing range advantages on flop, and then going on there. Usually turn he's gonna check a lot, but whatever. We check our hand, which is like very standard, and then here comes the turn. The turn is a 6 of diamonds, and I'm gonna check my entire range here. Yep. The equity now, let's see on the flop, like here on the flop, the equity of imposition is like 52, kind of standard, and here the equity of imposition is like 44. Yeah, that's what I mentioned. Like, usually what PIO does is that it forces like presses like flop equity advantages as hard as possible, and then once the villain defends enough, you're gonna be in an equity disadvantage now, and then you're gonna check a lot of turns. That's like what PIO does with like small c-bet sizings or wide c-bet sizings on flop, and then just like very narrow ranges on a turn. And I think that that's GTO. Of course, you could like kind of like develop a counter-exploitative strategy around this if like people just stick to PIO. And then here, yeah, A and Queen Queen. Yeah, you see, King King is a check already here. So this is exactly what I mean. Like, King King's gonna be a check after this play, which is what I expected. And then, yeah, he's gonna have like A and Queen Queen for value, and that's pretty much it. Like, all the other hands are bluffs. So when he bets, I'm suggested to check raise like a frequency, which I'm not too surprised of, because now I have an equity advantage. If you think about it, my equity is like 49 based on his betting range. So if his checking range has 44, I have like 56, and then when he bets, I have like still 50. So I think it's reasonable to like check raise here. So let's look at the strategy. Strategy was yeah, here we go. Yeah, we check raise like top set, some slow some pocket tens. Because pocket tens is gonna be more of a slow play because it doesn't block queen X, I guess. And it's interesting to see that he doesn't really bet ace queen here anymore. He does a bit, but not a lot. Yeah, usually the ones with a flush draw. Yeah, he's like only betting like top pair, not flush draw, and that's really good. Queen jack also, king jack, king queen also. So, and then here the raise size is like 91. Whatever, I mean, like however we call, right? Yeah. It says like we should be check raising these hands as a bluff to balance our AA queen queen. I don't really know if that's good. If we check raise AA that high of a frequency, I guess it's okay because like we're gonna hit with these hands quite often on a river. So then we call, and river is a king of spades. And now wait, we have a donking range of 69 only, because he has 69 behind us. Yeah, he has 69 behind. So this is an all-in here. And it does suggest us to have a very wide donking range here, which is good. And that's what I did. But it didn't choose. Unfortunately, it didn't choose Jack 10 suited. It chose like Queen Jack. So our donking range is going to be King King, King Queen, Queen Queen, 10 10. Yeah, so here on this card, the out of position equity is just 60%. So I think I just nailed it, I guess. Like, yeah, seriously. I mean, yeah, but it chose like other hands. King 10's go for value as well. It chose like 10-9 and Queen Jack. Why Queen Jack? I chose Jack 10 because I just felt like it's good. Yeah, I think this is GTO. So, and then when we bet, he basically defends. He overfolds here as well, which is very interesting. I bet less than pot here for sure. Because, yeah. And he overfolds. He's like forced to overfold because of card removal. Yeah, I really like this. Yeah, so I think it's good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.